What's up? What's up? Now you know what time it is. Of course, it's time for another movie review. But once again, I'll be reviewing the television series of Wandavision on Disney Plus, part of the MCU, the finale of episode 9. So I want to start off by saying it has been such a joy watching this series. As always, Marvel Studios has been doing quite an excellent job of storytelling. They pretty much stick to the comic book with some slight changes, but the slight changes that they do make, it makes sense for the story. But for the most part, they stick to the comic book storylines. Warner Brother Pictures, you could definitely learn a thing or two, or a million things to say from Marvel Studios. The finale was really well done with summing up and concluding this WandaVision entrapment that she created. Wanda basically has the power which the Mind Stone, as we found out in episode 8, has strengthened her power. We find out that from Agatha Harkness, which they haven't explained why they made Agatha Harkness a young person because in the comic book she's an elderly woman. We find out that Wanda is some kind of manifestation in the witch community in which she destroys herself because Wanda can change, manipulate, and create a new reality just altogether. And Wanda says, I'm not a witch. And she said, this, Agatha, this that you created, this reality, is scorn magic. This is chaos magic. You are a Scarlet Witch. Which is the truth, which I said in previous videos. Hell has no fury like a woman scorned. Wanda has experienced a great deal of loss and has manifested this reality to not only cope with this loss, but to heal from it. Her and Agatha have this big battle because we find out in the series that Agatha can absorb and use people's power. But she can't with Wanda. She's too strong because she has the influence of the Mind Stone. We also get introduced to White Vision, which is in the comic book, which looked magnificent on the screen. And he goes up against Colorful Vision, in which we see um, throughout the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And they're fighting against it. It looks beautifully shot. All of the sky shots when the air looks incredibly shot. And Color Vision asks White Vision, why are we doing this? You're me, I'm you. What's going on here? They have this interesting, intelligent dialogue. And they decide to go part ways and say, you know what? White Vision says, I'm here to neutralize Scarlet Witch, Wanda. He says, but you have no memory other than that because White Vision was created by Sword as a weapon, which it was created in Age of Ultron as a weapon essentially, but it's now used as a weapon to neutralize Wanda and to stop her essentially to break this reality that she's made and also for future endeavors in storytelling in the Marvel Universe. And they decide he basically touches White Vision and says, you know what? You have no memories of anything else. I have no memories of anything else. Why are we fighting? They decide to part ways and go. It was really, really a great moment. Wanda sub basically subdues Agatha Harkness. She gets her down and she decides to change her back into the role she was playing in the reality that Wanda created, which is a nosy neighbor. Which this won't be the last we hear of Agatha Harkness for sure. There was a really good moment too that reminded me of The Incredibles when Sword actually breaks through because Wanda is chipping at the reality and getting into the reality and opening up the world that she's created, and Sword comes through. And her Vision and her twins are sitting there. It looked like the live action version of Incredibles. It was such a good moment, such a good moment. After she defeats essentially Agatha Harkness, Wanda comes to the conclusion this is not right. Agatha breaks some of the people's spell in this town, and she says, they're saying, Wanda, we're under your spell. Like, can you please help us navigate through this? Do you want to create a storyline in which this one lady says you want to create a storyline in which my child is friends with your twins? Can you help us? Can you break some of this? And she unselfishly decides to break this and take everything away. And being that Vision was a manifestation from her power and her twins, they all descend. She puts her twins away. She says goodbye to Vision and decides to go her way. It was pretty nice to watch. It was very nice to watch. We then find out that Scrolls in the ending credit were a part of Sword and wants to visit with Monica up in space with Nick Fury played by Samuel Jackson, which I can't wait to see the storyline of Secret Invasion in the MCU on Disney Plus. We also see the ending credits with Wanda in a cabin somewhere in some beautiful forests by a lake, and we see her normal self, in which we see her without being frustrated. She's completely calm. She goes into her cabin she's staying at to pour some tea or coffee, and we see the manifestation of her power of Scarlet Witch because she gets a new costume, which looked amazing on her. Her Scarlet Witch costume looked amazing, but it's separate from her, as if it's a separate entity from her, which I'm sure will be expounded on and explained in later MCU stories. I just want to say that Marvel's doing a great job with these storylines. I can't wait for the other series, Falcon and Winter Soldier, which I will review too as well, which starts March 18, 2021. Loki, of course. What If series, which is the first cartoon animated from Marvel Studios. I can't wait to see all of it. I think these series are really are gonna basically take storytelling to another level, like they've done cinematically. With coronavirus too, I think it's incredibly smart to do more expounding in television. She-Hulk, I can't wait for that. Miss Marvel, it's just what they're doing is like storylines that are individual from the MCU, but also including the MCU. But they're also expanding on other characters' powers and what they're doing outside of the Avengers or them being together. And I think it's smart. There's so many comic book stories that you can tell and bring to the big screen and the small screen. And I'm telling you, they're doing such a great job with this. I give this the conclusion and also the series in general an A minus. It's doing really well. So please subscribe if you like this video and all my previous videos, because once a week I will be uploading a video of a review of a movie or even a television series.